The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Even if you agree with the war, and you clearly do, is he not minimizing what Americans are feeling because of the war?
Please like, subscribe, and share. Kaitlan Collins confronted MAGA loyalist, pro-war Republican, and Donald Trump supporter Jim Jordan on her CNN show over Trump's disastrous war rhetoric and his shocking comments about Americans struggling financially. We're breaking down the heated exchange between Jim Jordan and Kaitlan Collins, and I've got plenty of thoughts to share. Let's dive into it together.
To return to the United States following his final meeting with the Chinese leader, he's going to be returning to some of the same questions that many of his Republican colleagues have been facing.
Look, this is not going to last forever, and gas prices are going to go back down.
The gas price situation is tough, but I don't think that's going to be resolved in the next few weeks.
The fact of the matter is everybody relax. Fuel prices will go down. Iran's going to end very, very soon.
My first source tonight is the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio. And thank you, sir, for being here. You heard the questions that your colleagues have been facing on this. I'm sure you faced some of them from the Capitol Hill press corps. You were critical when gas was $3.07 when President Biden was in office. If you thought that was bad, what is $4.53?
Well, we all want gas prices to go down, Caitlin, but we also are concerned about Iran and this regime that's done so much evil and harm around the world to Americans, to Israelis, to other people, to their own people, for goodness sakes, for 47 years. You can't have that regime getting a nuclear weapon. The president's been clear about that. Secretary of State Rubio's been clear about that. So the president is concerned about the long-term safety of this great country and the citizens who live here. That's what he's focused on. And when you're focused on that, you cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That is the fundamental objective here. And yeah, we want the gas prices to come down, but we don't want this country, this regime, having nuclear capability.
I'd like to see a poll of Americans. What do you care more about right now in this moment? Gas prices or Iran getting a nuclear weapon?
So is the argument that if gas prices are high, it's okay as long as it's for the right reason, in your view?
No, the argument is, how is that good for America, for Israel, for the world? How is that good for anyone if this regime, understand how bad they are, Caitlin. In Iran, wrestling is a big sport. They took this 19-year-old junior champion, one of their star up-and-coming athletes, and because he had protested against the regime, this evil regime that's done all this bad stuff, they hung this guy publicly. That's how bad they are. I think the American people understand, we don't want that regime. The President Trump has been clear, we're not going to let that regime nuclear weapons. So yeah, we want gas prices to come down, but we also don't want this evil country and the leadership there to have nuclear capabilities, as I said before.
This is what you said in 2022 when gas prices in your home state of Ohio were actually a little bit lower than they are today.
These elites who live here in Washington don't seem to get the fact that folks in like West Central Ohio, North Central Ohio that I get to represent, where you make things, grow things, move things, $5 gas kills the economy.
I mean, what happens to the economy if we hit $5 a gallon now?
Well, it's not good. We'd like it to come down. But, we're also seeing some good signs. In the month of April, we have 115,000 job growth in the economy. There's some good signs out there. We all want prices to come down. We all want things to be more affordable, particularly for young couples who are buying that first home, got a young family. We all want that to happen. But we don't want this country and what they've done over 47 years, the people they've killed, the evil they've been a part of. We don't want them getting a nuclear weapon. So now, and when Biden was driving up the gas prices, it was because of stupid regulation and taxes and everything else and spending. It wasn't to prevent the regime. In fact, they were cozying up to Iran. They were giving them American tax dollars to them. They were doing all kinds of stupid deals. Thank goodness President Trump got us out of that deal and is focused on what's good for the long-term security and safety of the planet. Not just Americans, but the entire planet, because everyone knows this regime is, even China knows this regime is bad, and that's why they've told the president that they want to help us stop this Iran from getting a nuclear weapon.
I mean, China does a lot of business with Iran, but to the point, I mean, it sounds like you're saying gas prices went up under Biden, and I criticized it then because I didn't like why they were going up. I mean, they're going up a lot under this president that you supported, but you're just saying it's for the right reason in your view.
Yeah, and it's for a reason that he told the American people he was going to do. One thing I know about this president, unlike so many other people in elective office, when this president says something, he does what he said. He said he would cut taxes, he did. He said he would secure the border, he did. He said he would make sure Iran didn't get a nuclear weapon, and he's going about doing that. And thank goodness he's got the courage and the toughness and the willingness to do what he said when most of the other presidents, all the other presidents for 47 years wouldn't do it, but this guy will.
What about his promise in 2024 that if he was reelected, gas would be under $2 a gallon because of his policies?
Well, gas prices were coming down until we had to deal with this situation. But, that's life. That's dealing with world and the world we live in. I think the country gets the fundamental fact. And I know I understand this. President Trump makes decisions that are in the best interest of our nation. 250 years, greatest country in history. He makes decisions that are going to help our country and the long-term security and safety of the people he has. And I think you want a commander-in-chief like that. You want a commander-in-chief who's willing to do tough things that he knows are good for us, all of your viewers, everyone in this country, and frankly, everyone around the world. It is good if Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon.
But if someone's listening to you and they were paying $2.98 a gallon of gas before the war started, and now they're paying $4.53, I mean, saying that's life might not, make them feel better.
Those are your words. Those are your words, not mine. I'm saying.
No, you said that's life just now.
This is the situation. This is the situation. They were pursuing a nuclear weapon. They wanted to get there. President Trump said, I'm not going to do that. He ran on that. And he's taken the appropriate action that I think you want your commander-in-chief to take for the security and safety of America.
But he also ran on bringing gas prices to under $2 a gallon. I mean,
well, hopefully,
our voters supposed to look at that and say which one
Hopefully we'll get there soon. I want gas prices low, too. I mean, we all want gas prices low. Who doesn't, for goodness sake? But we also don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. And I think the country is smart. They understand that decisions have to be made. Let's focus on getting those gas prices down as quickly and as fast as we can. But let's also focus on making sure that this regime, who was willing to hang a 19-year-old star athlete in their country, willing to do that, let's make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon.
You said that's life. I was just quoting what you said a second ago. Those were not my words. Those were your words.
No, I'm not saying that's life. I'm saying life sometimes throws things at you that you didn't anticipate, and you have to deal with it. And you want a commander-in-chief who will deal with it and deal with it in a way that is focused on the safety of the people he was elected to serve and protect.
The president was asked about this as he was departing the White House for China, and this is what he told reporters about that.
Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Enter text please like, subscribe, and share. I want to pause for a second and talk about this shocking statement from Donald Trump saying he doesn't care about Americans' financial struggles. This should be plastered on billboards across the country. Democrats should be running nonstop ads about it every single day. And honestly, it's surprising they aren't already. Just imagine if Barack Obama or Joe Biden had made the exact same comment. Republicans would avert. Stop talking about it. It would have been everywhere, on shirts, bumper stickers, social media, and campaign ads for years. If Democrats don't use this in their messaging right now, they're missing a huge opportunity. They don't even need to tie it to an election campaign. Just put the quote everywhere with Trump's name and the date he said it. Republicans are practically handing Democrats a powerful talking point, if they're willing to fight back and actually use it.
You agree with the war, and you clearly do. Is he not minimizing what Americans are feeling because of the war?
No, come on, Kaitlan. This is a president who did the largest tax cut in American history, letting American families keep more of their money. Of course he cares about them having the revenue and the sources and affordability concerns. This is the president who said we should suspend the gas tax to help families deal with the price they're paying for fuel at the pump today. So, of course he cares about that, just like I care about that, just like we all care about that. But he also cares about making sure this country long-term is safe. And again, I've said it several times, I think that's what you want in a president. That's what you want in a commander-in-chief. That's what you want in your leader. As the chief executive of the executive branch of our government, that's what you want. So I think you can be focused on all that, try to help on all that, but you have to deal with this threat that is, according to the Secretary of State, according to the president, they were close to getting this capability, and that's why he took the action he did.
In your view, is the cost of a gallon of gas reflective on the president's job performance?
No, the president I think he's done a great job. He's done what he said. As I said before, he's cut taxes, secured the border, did in record time on securing the border. Things that we all ran on that the American people elected us to do. We've been able to do that. And like I've said now, we want the gas prices to come down, certainly, but we also have to deal with this threat. That is very real. That is as real as it gets. These people are as dangerous as it gets. 47 years, they've killed Americans, they've killed Israelis, they've killed others, they've killed thousands of their own people, including their star athletes. So that's the situation we're in. President Trump understands we have to address that.
But do you think Americans feel that way? I mean, you look at CNN polling, 70% of Americans say that he's doing a bad job on the economy. That is rare for President Trump. I don't even think he got below 50% even during COVID in his first term. I mean, when was the last time 70% of Americans agreed on anything?
Well, I think most Republicans think President Trump's doing a good job. I've seen polling. I don't trust all the polling you see. All I know is I think Americans appreciate leaders who actually do what they said they were going to do. And President Trump does that
better. But he said
than
he was
any
going to bring
elected official I've
prices
ever
down
seen in
for
my lifetime.
Americans, and inflation is
Donald
up.
Trump said he was going to bring prices down and also said he wouldn't get into more wars in the Middle East. We all know that Donald Trump is a liar.
And
he's working on that, Kaitlan. And look, let's hope you come down. We're working on bringing them down. There's things we can do. Earlier this week, he proposed a moratorium on the or scaling back the gas tax for a while for some time frame. I'm all for looking at those kind of things as well. But let's focus on the objective here.
Americans like presidents who keep their promises. You were just questioning a witness about this today, someone who said one thing on the campaign and did something when in office. The president said he'd bring down inflation and gas prices would be under $2 a gallon. Neither of those things are close to being true right now as we talk.
Well, his term's not up. He's going to keep working on that, and hopefully we'll have him down before the midterm.
But I don't think he said, I'll do it by the end of my term. He said on day one, in the first 6 months.
Well, when they come down, we'll come back down. We'll come back. When prices come, we'll come back and talk about it. But the focus right now is making sure this regime doesn't have the capability to do the evil that you could do with a nuclear weapon. So that's what he's trying to prevent. That's what he's going to stop, and that's what he told us.
Please like, subscribe, and share. At the end of the day, nothing Jim Jordan is talking about actually helps everyday Americans, unless you're a defense contractor or a big oil executive. This war is only making life harder for regular people. Iran never attacked the United States, and many critics argue this war was unnecessary from the start. Jim Jordan and the rest of MAGA keep pushing the same talking points, but the reality is they don't care about average Americans. If you're not a wealthy donor or millionaire, people like Donald Trump and the MAGA movement are not focused on your struggles. Kaitlan Collins did provide some solid pushback here, which is something we don't always see on mainstream TV. She challenged Jim Jordan instead of just letting the claims slide. And according to recent polling, a large majority of Americans are not fully behind Trump's war strategy or the MAGA agenda. Now the big question is whether Democrats will actually take advantage of this moment and fight back heading into November. So far, many voters feel they haven't shown enough urgency. Let me know what you think about Jim Jordan's comments and whether Democrats are finally ready to push back harder. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.